What if your silence is already teaching the room how to treat you? We often think our power lies in what we say, in the arguments we win, or the boundaries we declare out loud. But what if the most profound communication happens before a single word is spoken? What if the very quality of your presence, the tension in your shoulders, the rhythm of your breath, the way your eyes meet or avoid another's gaze, is a silent broadcast, sending out instructions to everyone you encounter? I learned this the hard way. Energy is a magnet and a mirror. It's not a mystical concept, but a deeply practical one. The energy we carry, shaped by our experiences and our beliefs about ourselves, acts like a magnetic field, drawing certain dynamics toward us. And simultaneously, it acts as a mirror, reflecting back the treatment we subconsciously believe we deserve. The world doesn't just happen to us, it responds to the frequency we emit. If you've survived narcissistic abuse or the insidious pressure of community harassment, you know the dizzying loop. Disrespect, manipulation, eyes on you even when you shrink yourself to become invisible. You feel like a target, but you can't understand why. You try to be smaller, quieter, more agreeable, yet the very behaviors you hope will grant you peace only seem to invite more intrusion. It's a suffocating paradox. For years, I believed control was my only protection. Hypervigilance was my shield, scanning every room, every face, every shift in tone for potential threats. People-pleasing was my passport, a desperate attempt to earn my safety by being whatever I thought others needed me to be. I became a chameleon, shape-shifting to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold me, all while abandoning myself in the process. The cost was immense. My nervous system was perpetually on high alert, my body a tense knot of unspoken fear. I was exhausted from performing a version of myself that I thought was acceptable, only to find it was an open invitation for others to continue taking. Now, let me be perfectly clear. This isn't blame, it's awareness. It is never your fault that someone chooses to abuse or disrespect you. The responsibility for harm always lies with the person who inflicts it. This is about reclaiming the power that you do have, the power over your own internal state, which in turn influences your external reality. This is your energetic signature, the unspoken vibration of your boundaries, your core beliefs, and your deepest expectations. It's the sum total of your trauma and your triumphs, your fears and your hopes. It's the frequency you broadcast to the world, and it speaks volumes before you ever do. It whispers, "This is what I'll tolerate. This is what I expect. This is how much space I am allowed to take up. This is how worthy of respect I feel." It's a constant, subtle transmission. And the world, especially those who are sensitive to energetic cues, mirrors it. That's the principle of behavior reflected back. It's a neutral law, like gravity. The world reflects the signals it receives. If your signature broadcasts, "My boundaries are porous," you will attract those who love to test fences. If it says, "I don't trust my own judgment," you will find yourself surrounded by those who are eager to make decisions for you. When I carried the deep imprints of violation, I apologized for existing. My posture was a silent apology. My quick, accommodating nods were an apology. My voice, when I used it, was often pitched higher, softer, seeking approval. I over-explained simple choices, as if I needed to justify my own needs. I laughed off disrespect, those casual, cutting remarks, pretending they didn't sting because I was terrified of the conflict that might arise from calling them out. That taught people I would manage their discomfort for them. It signaled that my comfort was secondary. And for some, those with hidden motives and a need for control, it felt like an open invitation to test my edges, to see how far they could push before I would break. Here's the pivot, the moment everything begins to change. It's what I call correcting frequency. This isn't about forcing outcomes. It's not about getting into loud confrontations or debating every doubter. You don't have to convince anyone of your worth. It's the quiet, internal recalibration that gently but powerfully resets your reality from the inside out. It's about changing the signal at its source. I started with 3 small, manageable shifts, 3 practices that became my anchors in the storm. First, breath before boundary. The old me would have blurted out a panicked yes to an unreasonable request. The new practice was to pause. Someone asks for a favor I don't have the capacity for. Instead of immediately answering, I take one full, conscious breath. Inhale, exhale. This tiny space creates a circuit breaker for the people-pleasing impulse. Then, a simple, calm, "No, that doesn't work for me." No apology, no elaborate excuse. The breath anchors the boundary in my body, giving it weight and solidity. Second, stillness before story. I noticed the compulsive urge to explain, to justify, to build a case for my feelings or decisions. If I said no, I felt I owed them a 5-paragraph essay. The new practice was to notice that urge and choose stillness instead. I would allow the silence to hang in the air. It felt excruciating at first. But in that space, I learned that most situations don't require a story. A single, clear sentence is enough. "I'm not available. I've decided to go in a different direction. I'm going to pass on that." I let the statement stand on its own. And third, body before belief. For so long, I had been taught to ignore my body's wisdom. A tight chest, a knot in my stomach, a feeling of dread. I dismissed it all as me being too sensitive. The new practice was to honor my body as my primary source of data. If my chest tightened when someone entered the room, I didn't judge it. I acknowledged it. My body is signaling a threat. It became my first and most honest yes or no. Before my mind could rationalize or people please, my body already knew the truth. Honoring that truth, even if it was just by taking a step back, was revolutionary. As I practiced these shifts, my inner fractures were exposed. The old programming, the survival strategies that were once necessary, began to surface. These were the voices of trauma whispering their familiar scripts. Stay small. Don't make waves. Keep the peace at all costs. Be grateful for whatever crumbs of affection you receive. You are too much. You are not enough. My first instinct was to fight them, to shame myself for still feeling this way. But the real healing came when I stopped fighting. I didn't fight them. I witnessed them. I would say to myself, there is the fear of being abandoned. Or, there is the belief that my needs are an inconvenience. I breathed with them. I placed a hand on my heart and acknowledged their presence. And then, from that place of compassionate awareness, I chose again. I chose the breath. I chose the stillness. I chose my body's truth. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the mirror shifted. The reflection the world showed me began to change. People with respectful, grounded energy stayed longer. Conversations felt more reciprocal. Friends who honored my no without question became closer. And the people seeking supply, the emotional vampires, the boundary pushers, the ones who thrived on my fawning and over-explaining, they lost interest faster. When I stopped providing the energy they fed on, they simply drifted away in search of an easier source. There was no drama, no confrontation. The energetic mismatch did the work for me. Even in rooms that once felt surveilled, in family dynamics or community spaces that were rife with narcissistic control, my own regulated nervous system began to set the tone. My calm presence became a quiet declaration. I am not open to violation. I am not available for manipulation. My field is my own. So if you are in the churn of community harassment, recovering from narcissistic abuse, or stuck in repeating patterns of disrespect, please hear me. Energetic correction isn't pretending harm doesn't happen. It is not a magic shield. It is the sacred and deeply practical work of reclaiming the authority to define your own field. It is the conscious decision to curate your most valuable resources, your time, your attention, and the precious sovereign access to your own energy. It starts inside. It starts with a single breath. And it changes everything.